Hello, Michael here. Please excuse my relaxed posture today, but this is just a really comfortable position for me when I'm sitting at my desk, and I'm just kind of in that mood today too, because I just want on this video to tell you a little story. I think it's really interesting and fascinating and kind of humorous in a way. Sad but humorous, let's put it that way. And the people that I've told this story to, they feel the same way, that it's pretty amazing. So anyway, a couple weeks ago, I went up to Lake Poway, which is in Poway, California, and I was going to do some little bit of bird watching. I took my puppy and my camera, and we just kind of walked around, and I actually got some pretty good pictures too. And on the way back, Lake Poway is on Espola Road, and Espola Road dead ends into Poway Road. And on the way back, I saw this heart on a hill, and it's right at the corner where there's a light there, and where Espola is facing south, and you're just about to turn either left or right onto Poway Road. And there's a heart right on the hill. And so the thing is that I put that heart there, and I put it there about 12 years ago, 12 to 13 years ago. And so I just want to tell you the story about that. And the reason I'm telling you this is because probably in the last 12 years, there's been tens of thousands of people that have probably seen that heart and wondered what it was. So if you live in Poway, or you've visited Poway and seen that heart and always wondered what it was, then basically this video is for you. It's to answer the question of what that heart is doing there. And so I'm going to give you the main point in one sentence of this video, and it's to let you know that that heart is a memorial of love, not a memorial of death. And as I go and tell you this story, you're going to understand why I'm saying that. So in case you haven't actually seen it yourself, here's a couple pictures of the heart. So I think it was about in 2007 that I first put that heart there, and here's the reason why I did it. I was engaged to a woman who lived in Encinitas, and I lived in El Cajon. So her and I were constantly commuting back and forth to see each other. So one time she was going to travel from Encinitas to El Cajon, but it was kind of in a little bit of rush hour time, so we were talking on the phone, on our cell phones, as I was at work, and she was saying, yeah, I'm going to come see you, blah blah blah, but I don't want to take the freeways. I said, well, there's a back way that you can do this. So I told her this back way to get from Encinitas to El Cajon using Espola Road and Poway Road, and then getting onto the 67 and taking the 67 into El Cajon. So knowing that she was going to be traveling from Encinitas to El Cajon using Espola Road and Poway Road, I started thinking of a romantic, creative way that I could do something special for her. And so I came to that Espola Road, Poway Road intersection, and I saw that hill. And so I decided to put a heart on that hill. So I pulled my truck over and got out, and lo and behold, there was some white rocks. These perfectly sized, beautiful white rocks, like scattered throughout this area right here. I don't know if they had done, there used to be a painted wall there or something, but anyway, there was all these rocks the size of what you could hold in your hand, painted white. So I got on the side of this hill, about 6 or 7 feet up, and I dug with my hand, a heart shape, dug a little trench or whatever, and then I strategically placed these white rocks and made this nice big heart that was probably, I would say about 2 feet. So it was about 2 feet by about 3 feet or so. So a pretty nice size, big enough so that you could see it from, 75 feet away or whatever, or 100 feet away. And left it there, and I was so excited. So then later on that night, she calls me, and she says, okay, I'm on my way. And I said, okay, just kind of keep me posted and tell me where you're at. So a little bit later, as she was driving and coming in, a little bit later, I was kind of timing this. I texted her or called her, and I said, hey, let me know when you get onto Espola Road, coming up on Poway Road. And she said, okay. So we're talking on the phone as she's coming up Espola Road, and she comes up to the Poway Road light. And she says, yeah, I'm at the light right now. And I said, look straight ahead. Do you see anything? She says, yeah, I just see a white heart on the hill. And I said, yeah, I put that there for you earlier, knowing that you would be at this light. So she was thrilled. She just couldn't believe it. At first she was shocked. She was, you didn't put that there, blah, blah, blah. She like that. I said, yeah, I really did. I really did put that there for you. So that was very romantic, but here's the interesting part of the story. This is where it really kind of gets interesting, is that within a year or so later, her and I broke up. And, but about every 6 months or so, I would go by Espola and Poway Road, and I would see that the heart was still there. But I would say 6 months or so after we broke up, I saw that a couple of the rocks had been displaced because of the rain, so I fixed it. Because I think in a way I was still maybe grieving a little bit and maybe even hopeful that we were going to get back together. But we never did. And then eventually I just kind of lost heart and lost interest in about that heart. And so after that, I just decided I'm just going to let it go and let it happen. Let whatever happens happen. And so I did. So every 6 months or so, I would drive by there, and it would still be okay. But then I noticed that as time was going by, it started really kind of getting so that it was a little bit old. I think one time I went by there, and some of the rocks looked old, and they looked like it was starting to wash away. And I said, oh, that's sad or whatever, and I drove on. I didn't fix it or do anything to it. But then, a few months later, I drove by, and someone had taken some smaller white rocks. They had put the big white rocks in place and then surrounded it with a bigger heart, like 2 layers of these smaller rocks. So they made it probably 10 times better than it ever looked in the first place. They made this thing actually beautiful. And I was just shocked. And I was thinking, why would somebody do that? And so then as time went on, somebody or more than one somebody's kept fixing this thing up. And they were just making it look great, better than it ever did. So I started wondering, almost immediately really, but I started wondering if maybe someone thought that was at one time a memorial. Because it's a major intersection, and there's probably been many accidents there because it's kind of a country road. I'm thinking some people maybe drive too fast on that road, so maybe some people have run the light. And so it's very possible that that there's been many accidents at that corner, and someone may have even been killed. So I was started wondering if maybe someone or more than one someone's, I don't know if that's very good English, but started actually thinking that was a memorial of a death. So they just didn't want that to go by the wayside. Or maybe they wanted to put a memorial there of maybe a loved one that had died there, but they saw that the heart was already there, so they just added to it. Who knows? I really don't know why. In fact, that's another reason for me making this video, is that if you have any information about who has been fixing that heart, then I would just ask you to leave a comment in the comment section below. But I just think it's interesting that, and I even have a little joke. I say that I tell some people, and then I also kind of a joke to myself, that the heart lasted longer than my relationship with this woman. So, not really funny, because I actually loved that woman very much. But things have changed so much, and now, 12 years later, as I told you in the beginning of this, went up to Lake Poway, came down Espola Road, and that heart is still there. It was a little bit more run down probably than the last time I had seen it, and I haven't seen that heart in probably 5 to 6 years now. So eventually I left that job, and I just didn't go that way anymore, and so I just haven't had opportunity to drive that route. But like I said, I went bird watching and saw it again, and was just amazed. And I thought, there might be some people wondering about that. So that's my reason for making this video. And also, if you know anything, if you have any information, or if maybe you are that person that's kept that heart intact and kept it looking good, then please leave a comment for me. So anyway, that's my story for today, and I think it's a good one. It's romantic. It's got some romance. It's got some drama a little bit, and then it's got a mystery to it. It's got some real mystery about who's been fixing the heart, and. So anyway, also if you've actually seen that heart, please leave a comment. If you live in Poway and you've seen that heart, you pass it all the time going to work, leave me a little comment and say, hey, I always wondered about that. So anyway, that's my story for today, and it's the truth, and I'm sticking to it. So I usually say at this time, I hope this video has been a help and a blessing to you. I don't know about a help, but I hope it was a blessing. I hope it was a little bit of entertainment for you. So anyway, thank you for watching, and God bless you. I'll see you next time.